I've been thinking a lot lately about generational curses. We hear the phrase and often think breaking a generational curse means rejecting where we came from. I don't think that's what it means at all. Sometimes breaking a generational curse means looking backward with enough compassion to understand the people who came before us, and then deciding what we are capable of doing differently. My great grandmother was my mammy. She was a serious woman, she worked hard, and she didn't have an easy life. Her mother died of cancer when Mammy was still very young, and there were things in her life that left wounds she carried with her. But that's not the whole story of who she was. Mammy sang. I remember riding in the car and hearing her sing gospel songs. She could also laugh, really laugh. Sometimes she would laugh so hard that tears rolled down her cheeks, and she was incredibly tender-hearted. When we would leave Kentucky, Mammy would stand on the carport crying and waving goodbye. I can still picture her after all of these years. Sometimes the first indication that she was going to cry was her chin beginning to quiver. She'd face straight ahead and try to hold everything together. And she continued waving until she was just a small speck in our rearview mirror. I understand that more now than I did then, because families pass down more than eye color. We pass down mannerisms, ways of coping, ways of loving, ways of protecting ourselves. Sometimes we inherit strengths. Sometimes we inherit wounds. Usually we inherit some of both. Mammy believed in me. She pushed me. She taught me to do math in my head and challenged me with spelling to also spell in my head without using a paper or a pencil. She wanted me to understand that I was capable. One of the messages she gave me was simple. You can do anything if you set your mind to it. She was right. I carried that with me, and I still do to this day. But growing up also means realizing that the people we love were imperfect human beings shaped by circumstances we didn't always understand as children. And I think there is freedom in being able to say they did the best they could with what they had. That doesn't mean everything they did was right. It doesn't mean pain didn't happen. It doesn't require us to pretend something was healthy when it wasn't. It simply allows us to recognize that people cannot always give us tools they were never given themselves. That's where breaking generational curses begins. Not with hatred, not with blame, and not by pretending our family never existed. It begins when somebody finally has different tools and decides to use them. If you know better, you have the opportunity to do better. If you have access to healing that previous generations didn't have, you can pursue it. If you recognize a pattern that hurt your family, you can decide that pattern doesn't have to continue through you. You can break the chain. And doing that doesn't mean you're betraying the people who came before you. Sometimes it's one of the greatest ways you can honor them. I don't have to become Mammy to carry Mammy with me. I can carry forward her work ethic, her tenderness, her stubborn determination, her laughter, her songs, her belief that I was capable of more than I sometimes believed I was. And I can leave behind the things that don't need to travel another generation. That's the part of breaking generational curses that I think we sometimes miss. You get to choose what you carry. Keep the love, keep the resilience, keep the stories, keep the laughter that made tears roll down someone's cheeks. Keep the lessons that made you stronger. But when you encounter something that caused pain generation after generation, you are allowed to put it down. Maybe our ancestors couldn't. Maybe our grandparents didn't know how. Maybe our parents weren't ready. But if we are capable of doing something different, then perhaps that's our responsibility. Not perfection, just progress. Because someday someone may look backward at us too. And I hope they don't need me to have gotten everything right. I hope they can simply say, she learned what she could, she changed what she could, and she did the best she could with what she had. The past that links us as family never breaks, but neither does it have to determine where the family goes next. Sometimes loving the people who came before us means carrying their best pieces forward and having the courage to let some of the pain end with us. Thank you for tuning in to Recovering Perfectionist Mama, Grace in Progress, and listening to my thoughts on generational curses, because I think that a lot of people don't talk about it and tend to think that you're doomed to repeat the past. But that's not true. You always have a choice to make a difference, to choose a different path. It's on you. You decide what you want your legacy to become and what you want your family story to become. So if you got value from this, please feel free to like and subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate it. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.